Hi everyone, it's Nikki here, and I want to wish you a very happy new year, happy 2018. And I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and you managed to get some rest amid all the chaos. If you're like most of us, you're probably starting or going back to work, kids going back to school, and you're probably feeling a little jaded, a little sluggish, maybe a little bit heavier around the middle. And maybe a bit low after all the celebrations, because January can be a bit depressing, maybe, for some people. I was actually away for Christmas with my family, which was absolutely lovely, because my son's gone off to uni and he came back and we all went away. We were staying near Cape Town, so we did an awful lot of wine tasting and winery visiting. And of course, tasting turns into drinking quite a bit. So you can't help it. It's such a lovely area, and the wine is really nice too. So I've come back feeling a little bit jaded as well, and I've certainly put on a few pounds because the food was good too. So I know exactly how you're feeling if you're feeling like that. And what happens is that Christmas and holidays can take a huge toll on your hormones. So I'm just going to go through the feisty four, because you know about these, and just to let you know what's happened to your hormones over the period if you're feeling like this, and how we can get back on track. So your hormones might be in a bit of a mess right now. You've had a load of carbs, you've had alcohol, partying, probably some late nights, some stress maybe, because Christmas can be very stressful for a lot of people. And your exercise schedule may have gone out the window for a little bit. Mine certainly did. So what's happening? So first of all, cortisol, all that added stress, not just stressful circumstances, families, all that sort of stuff, massive to-do lists and all that. But you may have been ill over the holidays. That's a big stress on the body. Your diet's gone out the window, alcohol, all of that. So your cortisol may have been a little bit out of balance. And that also has an effect on all your other hormones. So stress is a big one. Insulin, number two, the feisty four. Well, insulin is all about blood sugar. And of course, when we're drinking alcohol, when we're eating stuff that we shouldn't eat, lots of refined carbs, mince pies and Christmas cake and all of that stuff, you're just going to put you on the blood sugar roller coaster. So that's going to destabilize your blood sugar, and that's going to lead to energy slumps, mood swings, just feeling, and also fat storage as well. So that's possibly why you're possibly feeling a little bit heavier in January. Thyroid, well, stress, a poor diet, maybe some toxins, they all affect your thyroid. So when your thyroid is affected, it can slowing down your metabolism, putting you in fat burning mode, making you really feel tired and sluggish, affecting your hair and nails and all sorts of things. So that could be an issue as well. And then we've got your sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Now, cortisol, insulin and thyroid all affect your estrogen progesterone ratio. So that could give you too much estrogen in relation to progesterone. That can affect your cycles and give you PMS, heavy periods, mood swings, brain fog. And if you're perimenopausal or menopausal, then you could be getting hot flushes more than usual, because these are often triggered by stress, which we've talked about, caffeine, alcohol, and certain foods that you might be eating more of over Christmas. And the last one, vitamin D, likely to be low. I've already done a video on this because we're in the middle of winter. All our stores from the summer will have run out. And vitamin D is a key hormone as well. So you need to be topping up on that. So what do we do about all this? Well, you could be very tempted to make some drastic New Year's resolutions. Now, I've got nothing against resolutions, but I do think we are very hard on ourselves in January. So we overindulge in December, and then we go maybe on a crash diet, or we do something quite radical when it comes to the beginning of January. And what can happen is, your body's been under quite a bit of stress over the holiday period, and then you go in with something quite drastic, and the body feels that as another stressor, basically. So what can happen, and not only that, your body's not going to feel that as a stressor, but also mentally it's very tough, because you've been in the indulgent phase and then you go straight into deprivation, and of course that's hard. It's really hard. So what I'd say to you is, yes, resolutions are great, and I've got nothing against them, like I said, but too many of us will be being hard on ourselves, too hard on ourselves. And the research says that 92 of us will fail if we go on a hardcore resolution with health and fitness. So for me, it's more important to restore your hormonal balance, because that is going to be much more sustainable in the long term, and it's also going to be easier. So I would say to you, I would give you 3 tips today for the new year. First one, prioritise self-care over deprivation. Deprivation just leads to stress, and it's just going to make you miserable, and you're not actually going to sustain it. So self-care for me is much more important. You've given your body a bit of a rocky time, so time to give it some TLC. Second tip is go gently, baby steps, or you're just going to give up. So don't do everything all at once. So for me, I am going to give up alcohol for a few weeks. I do that every January, and that's hard for me, obviously. It's one of my favorite things, red wine. But I know that my body needs that rest because I've really overindulged. So, but I'm not going to give up anything else. I'm going to add in some nutrients to give my hormones some TLC, but I'm not going to deprive myself of anything else. So, because that's going to be hard enough to do it on its own. So that's the only thing I'm going to be doing in January. So I'm also going to be upping my self-care. So doing a little bit more me stuff, more relaxing, bit of mindfulness, meditation, that sort of stuff, a bit of yoga, because that I know is going to benefit my mood, my stress, my energy levels, and just get my hormones back into balance a lot quicker. And the last tip I've got is make your new habits one by one. So again, that's all about the baby steps, but do one thing at a time. So once I've done my alcohol stretch, my dry stretch, then I'll look at something else that maybe needs improving as well. So I think it's just easier if you do it one by one. You've got one thing to focus on, and it's going to be a lot more sustainable. So start with self-care and nourishment this week. A couple of tips: just go to bed early a few nights this week, and treat yourself to a self-care ritual, something like some 15 minutes to yourself, listening to music, reading, just relaxing, taking yourself out of the hullabaloo of getting back to work and all of that stuff. If you can't do any of that, then just taking a nice warm bath will help, with some essential oils and some Epsom salts, my favourite. Okay, so that's it for today. No long lists of to-dos, just self-care and nourishment. And have a great week. See you soon.